Hello, bonjour. So today we are continuing. It's part two of what we did last week. Last week I showed you my recipe, my amazing ganache cake. So today what we'll do is continue on all the ingredients that are in that cake, and they're all whole foods, and they're all so beneficial and so healthy for us. So, and that is the important part, right? And, nutritious sweets do exist. It depends the ingredients that go in it. And certainly what in that recipe that I given you last week, it's all healthy ingredients. It absolutely is fantastic. So for who is actually maybe looking at this show for the first time, so I'm referring to last week, I did cacao versus cocoa. And in there is a recipe for my cake. And today I'm sharing the rest of the ingredients and all the health benefits that are in those ingredients. I haven't spoken to someone this morning. I have a bit of a, my throat is not clear. So to who doesn't know me, my name is Agathe Mathieu. I'm a living cuisine chef, which is known as raw food, but I think living cuisine sounds more delicious. So I use that term. Eating this way for 19 years, it's amazing, gives me energy. And as you can see, my hands, I had arthritis within 3 months of starting eating this way, gone, totally gone, never came back. Looks like I have it. Well, my fingers are twisted, but no pain, no inflammation, no swelling. You can see I can close my hands. I can open jars. None of the bad effects of the arthritis. It's all gone. And so today, yes, we'll talk about those other ingredients in the cake, and you'll see how amazing it is. Amazing it is. You can see also in my background, that's what I did, is I just put out there what those ingredients are. You can see the coconut. You can see at the top, those are the cashews that they grow in the trees. And then the cashew is just there at the end to be picked. It's just amazing. So you have to shell them and everything. And then what you see below is the coconut shell. They made those beautiful bowls. It's just beautiful, gorgeous. Actually, I was absolutely totally, I didn't know, but the coconut tree, there isn't a part of it that is not used. Every single part of it is for something. I'll tell you a little bit later. It's just pretty awesome. Okay, so, and then at the top there, just underneath my logo are the dates, of course. So yes, so continue on with the cacao versus cocoa. So today, let's talk about the other ingredients that are in the cake recipe. And I'll suggest alternatives as possible, when possible. So it's not like you have to use just those ingredients, because some people say, I cannot have cashews, what can I do? So here we go. We're starting with cashews. I'll tell you that in a second. So cashews are often used to make desserts. When we make desserts in living cuisine, we use a white nut, and we will use cashews or macadamia in the creamy part of the dessert. So cashews, and that's what it is when you think of how do you transfer from omnivores, so animal products, to plant product. And cashews and macadamia make a beautiful creamy texture. And that's what we need in the cake. And then I use walnuts and almonds when I make my burger pate, because with the seasoning, it's to live for. It's so delicious. I use chickpeas to make the falafel. So you see what I mean? So well, chickpeas and the falafel are there already. What am I talking about? But the walnuts and the almonds can replace the meat, as well as when I do the nori, I use almonds with carrots, lemon juice, and celery and seasoning to make the seafood type of taste. Okay, so cashews, as you can see, they're a kidney-shaped seed sourced from the cashew tree. It's a tropical tree that native to Brazil, but now it's cultivated in warm climates around the world. So it's in many places. And I will share with you, because it's fascinating as well for the cashew, everything that can be, how it can be used in so many different ways. Just a minute, I need to move my, I'm getting better at this. I need to get to my share button. It's here. I think I can. Yes, I can. Awesome. I'm going to bring up that document here. So, and then I'll do this as well. So you don't have to look at what's behind. So you see the cashew, first of all, there you go. The cashew is just that little bit there at the end of the fruit that they harvest, and then they shell it, and then they, dry it, steam it. It depends on the process. When it's raw food, it's actually, they use a blade and they cut open. It's all done by hand. They wash them very well because there is a substance on it that is like, it could be toxic. So they wash that off and then it's sun dried. Otherwise, the other cashews that are not raw are being steamed and dried as well. But with cashews, you can do cream, you can do medicine, yogurt. Cream is here, or skin cream, and cream as well, cheese, milk, oil, butter, ingredients for, in recipes, snacks, biofuel, so that's with the shell, and oil. And I guess the oil comes also at this stage here. It's not in the nut. Look at that. The oil comes from the shell. There you go. So isn't it interesting? Like I just love doing what I'm doing now with you today because I learned so many things. I just love it. Okay, let's continue. So although commonly referred as tree nuts and nutritionally comparable to them, cashews are really their seeds. And actually, you know what? Almonds are seeds as well, because when I sprout them, there you go. So it's interesting what they're saying. It's from Healthline. I like to take the information from there. Like most nuts, cashews may also help improve your overall health. They've been linked to benefit like weight loss, improve blood sugar control, and better health. And now you might say, what do you mean weight loss? Nuts are fat, aren't they? It's always a type of fat. So what happens with the cashew is it's rich in unsaturated fat and a category of fat linked to a lower risk of premature death and heart disease. So you see in the food, there are so many medicinal effects at the same time that you're eating something absolutely delicious. I yet have to find someone who doesn't like the taste of cashew. Some people cannot eat them, unfortunately. And I would say if you have a problem with eating them, and I don't mean if you have to use an EpiPen, don't listen to me now. But if it's just causing you a little bit of discomfort, eat whole cashews rather than the pieces. So they are when the nutrients is kept intact, and if you eat raw cashews, even better. They are low in sugar. They are a source of fiber and contain almost the same amount of protein as an equivalent quantity of cooked meat. Imagine that. So yeah, the protein part, right? Oh, where do you get your protein? I've been asked that so many times. Look, I've been eating this way for 19 years. I can lift 50-pound boxes. I had my cafe for 8 years, so you gotta lift those cases. So I'm strong. Yeah, so no problem. Protein coming from a plant source is just as good as animal protein. And it has all sorts of nutrients. Look at me again. I've got this funny throat. I should speak to my neighbor before I do my show, or speak to myself. So I clear that. I was up since 5:30 this morning. I don't know why it's happening. Let me just take a little sip of water here. Maybe that'll go away. Nice. Talking about water, this is water with lemon juice. So I learned this weekend, it was from Anthony Williams, medical medium. Water, if you were to drink it out of a spring coming out of the earth, it still has life force in it because it's twirling, that sort of thing, it's moving. When we take it from the tap, it's inert. So if you add lemon juice to it, then the life in the lemon juice makes it alive as well. And I have it in a bottle, and as you can see, I shake it around like this. So it's like this same movement that you would get in the water. When you have plants in the water, they twirl around like this. I don't know if there is a direction they're going, maybe not. They just move. So that's the same idea. So in addition, cashews contain a significant amount of copper, a mineral essential for energy production, healthy brain development, a strong immune system. We want that, right? With what's going on. They're also a great source of magnesium and manganese and nutrients important for bone health. So, and earlier I was comparing to meat. You don't find that in meat. That's my point. So you eat protein with nutrients. Nuts and seeds are considered antioxidant powerhouses, and cashews are no exception. Antioxidants, it's in everything that I talk about. There's always antioxidants somewhere because it's great. They are beneficial plant compounds that keep your body healthy for neutralizing damage-causing molecules known as free radicals. That's what causes havoc in the body. And in turn, this helps reduce inflammation and increases your body's ability to stay healthy and free from disease. So you're helping your body by eating whole foods, clean, organic, of course, always ideal, because otherwise you're eating pesticides, herbicides, side, something, growth regulator. They just have a whole bunch of things in there, GMO. So yeah, ideally you don't touch that. So cashew are a rich source of polyphenols and carotenoids, two classes of antioxidants also found in other tree nuts. So nuts are also rich in protein and fiber, which are known to reduce hunger and promote feelings of fullness, both of which can further promote weight loss. So here's the key. Nuts are delicious, so they can promote weight loss. So when you eat the nut, they digest slowly in the body, so you feel full longer, but then don't keep eating. And when you chew your nuts, like just don't, like, maybe break them and swallow. No, chew them so that they are like so small little bits in your mouth before you swallow. And that way your brain has the time to say, hey, okay, you had enough, you can stop now. Your stomach also has the time to tell you, okay, I'm full. Soaking your nuts overnight before adding them to dishes will help reduce their phytate content and improve their digestibility. So in other show, I talked about how it does that. Soaking the nuts is really helpful because it will like clean off the toxins and make it more easily digestible. So definitely do that with all nuts. I don't do that with the macadamia because they're not as creamy after, but yeah, do it with the nuts, definitely. And you can sprout the almonds, right? And keep in mind that roasted or salted cashews can contain high level of added oil or salt. You know what they do, right? So the industry, what it does is that when it puts a product on the market, it makes sure you're going to like it. And how they do that? They have on their staff people who are specializing in craveability. They literally play with the salt, the oil, and the sugar, that when it hits your tongue, it's like, I want more of that. And then you overeat. And you're not eating just the product, because salt, fat, and sugar are level 2. So in the sense that they're not whole foods, they've been an extract of. You don't want to eat much of that. Desiccated coconut is another ingredient that I use. It's in the crust of the cake, and is an ingredient in the crust and could be replaced by walnuts or sprouted sunflower seeds. You can play with that if you don't want to have the coconut in there, but let me tell you about coconut. You might not know. There's so many good things about it. And when you purchase your coconut, look for desiccated coconut. It might be called shredded coconut, or be careful and read the label that it does not say added apple juice. They do that. They sweeten it. It's already sweetened. So just plain coconut that has meat that has been dehydrated. That's what you want. So coconut oil can simply be taken out of the cake. So I'm talking about the coconut earlier. It can also, the oil can be taken out of the cake, of the desserts that I do. What happens with the oil, as you know, as you can imagine, when it cools down, it hardens. So it helps to keep the shape of the cake. So if you don't use it, it might not be as firm. But you can do that, or use as little as possible. I mean, I don't use much anyway to start with. So in the cake, there are 50 grams of the 625 gram total for the cake. So it's little. Coconut is the fruit of the coconut palm tree, which is commonly used for its water, milk, oil, and tasty meat. So, and then something I'd like you to know, I have to look at the time. I always talk over. I might not have time to go through all what I have to say again today. So the green coconut, they're the same variety as the brown. They're just the area ones you might be more familiar with. We don't see the green as much because they just don't make it here. If you live in part of the world where they grow those trees, they're easy to have. But here, the travel time makes it so that they usually cut the outside. When it comes in, they're called young coconut, but you don't see the green outside anymore. So the green coconut are young and not completely ripened, while the brown ones are fully mature. So this is also something to know where you have coconut water. If you're not as keen on the taste of the one that came out from the brown one, the more mature one, know to then find coconut water that is from the young coconut. Okay. Coconut are especially high in manganese, which is essential for bone health and the metabolism of carbohydrate, protein, and cholesterol. They're rich in copper and iron, which help form the red blood cells, as well as selenium, antioxidant that protects your cells. So you see, it's medicinal. It's medicinal. Much of the fat of coconut is in the form of medium triglyceride MCT. You might have heard of the MCT. It's a different type of fat, and it's absorbing them directly from your small intestine and rapidly used for energy. So it doesn't go into storage like fat. Oil, there is an expression that Dr. Furman uses. The olive oil is from your lips to your hips. It just goes in store right there, but not the MCT. So the MCT is shown to increase and release two hormones that can promote the feeling of fullness in the body, the peptide and the leptin. So there you go. And lastly, your gut environment is very important when it comes to your weight. MCT oil may help optimize the growth of good bacteria and support the gut lining. So it's excellent for that. It's an antibacterial effect. You might have heard of oil pulling. So you liquefy the coconut oil and you put a little bit in your mouth and you swish it around. You might have heard of that because it's an ancient practice that involves swishing oil in your mouth to remove bacteria and promote oral hygiene. It's very good for your teeth. And coconut are low carbs and high in fiber and fat, which may be beneficial for blood sugar control. It helps lower blood sugar level, which may be due to anti-inflammatory properties and antioxidant content. Now, you might have noticed that since the beginning, because I've taken my information from Healthline, when it comes to natural medicine, food, those terms are used a lot. May do this and may do that. And this is a protection so that people don't come and sue the company for saying, you said it was to do that, but it isn't. We don't see that in the pharmaceutical. They don't have to use the may do this and may do that. They just say they do things. It's unfortunate, isn't it? So what I invite you to do is that if you decide, hey, I'm going to try this oil pulling. So you can only imagine that if your mind, when you start this and you go, I don't think it's going to do anything, don't bother, don't do it. Because your brain is telling your body, I don't believe in it. And your brain is acting is like it's putting the negative. So just don't do it. If you're to do oil pulling, you go, hey, I read that it can really help with my mouth hygiene. Let's do that. Then you have a positive answer, a positive outcome. I mean, it's been like it says, it's an ancient practice. Our ancestors knew how to use nature to support their health. We lost track of that because we were told, oh, it's just convenient. You just take this from the drugstore, or this out of a pill, this out of a tube, this out. Back then they didn't have that, so they used nature, and they had reference for nature. They were really grateful for nature to provide them with all those very useful ingredients and medicine. Okay, let's continue. The high fiber content in coconut meat can also help slow digestion, and may potentially improve insulin resistance. So, we're talking about type 2 diabetes here for sure. So coconut meat contains phenolic compounds, which are antioxidant and can help protect cells from oxidative damage. I said that earlier. Now listen to this. There's just a list. It's just incredible. Well, we can have the coconut water. You know that. The coconut oil. You know that. The cooking oil and pulling and moisturizer, it's all in the oil. We can do coconut milk and coconut cream. Desiccated coconut, I talked about. Coconut flour, which is desiccated coconut that is grounded up to a flour. The coconut shell, well, you can see in my background, aren't they just gorgeous, those bowls? Just gorgeous. So they make beautiful bowls. They can be used for fuel for firewood. The coconut husk, sorry, or core, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, COIR, uh, can be used to make ropes, flooring, doormats, brushes, mattresses, padding, upholstery, firewood. Coconut leaves or fronds used to make shelter, like, those thatched roof, they can be used for that as a broom and basket. Coconut roots, the fiber, they use it to make toothbrushes. And if they boil, they can boil the roots to create a dye and medicine, of course, and mouthwash. And coconut flour, there's the nectar. And so it replaces refined sugar. You boil the sap to make alcohol or vinegar. The coconut trunk is used as lumber when the tree stopped producing. So it isn't a thing, not one thing that is lost from the coconut tree. It's just remarkable, remarkable, remarkable. And those beautiful bowls I have behind me, they come from jungleculture.eco. You can go on their website and find them there. I'm sure if you do coconut bowls, they might come up as well. Beautiful bowls. The next one is our dates. So dates are the fruit of the date palm tree, which is grown in many tropical regions of the world. It's almost, and did you know that 7 grams, with almost 7 grams of fiber in a 3.5 ounces serving, includes diet in your diet, is a great way to increase your fiber intake. So by eating a date, you increase your fiber intake. By eating refined sugar, you get nothing. There is nothing in refined sugar. Nothing. No nutrients, zero, nothing. So the date. The fiber in date may be beneficial for blood sugar control. Fiber slows digestion and may help prevent blood sugar levels from spiking too high after eating. So because when you eat with fiber, that's what happens. Instead of the food going, it slows down, and then you feel full longer. And then the body has time to really extract the nutrients from the food. Eat food with fiber, and for this reason, dates have a low glycemic index, which measures how quickly your blood sugar rises after eating. So again, type 2 diabetes, right? Date provides various antioxidants that have a number of health benefits to offer, including a reduced risk of several diseases. So the antioxidant in dates are flavonoids that are powerful antioxidants that may help reduce inflammation, risk of diabetes, Alzheimer. It's a brain boosting, also increased memory and learning abilities. Look at that. It's a sweet way to, to increase our learning abilities. I love that. Carotenoids, are proven to promote heart health and may also reduce the risk of eye-related disorder, such as macular degeneration. There you go. So sweeten with dates. Forget the processed sugar or the refined sugar. Phenolic acid knows that anti-inflammatory properties. Phenolic acid may help the risk of cancer and heart diseases. Amazing, amazing. And something I didn't know, it's just fascinating. It may promote promote natural labor. Actually, a friend of mine just gave birth, and yeah, she wasn't dilating enough, and they offered at the hospital to give her oxytocin in the form of a pill. Well, it's in the dates. It's in the dates. So that's why I'm telling you, our ancestors knew about all that stuff, and they were using all that stuff. So the role dates may have in pregnancy, again, it's alpine, so they gotta be a may have in pregnancy, is likely used due to compounds that bind to oxytocin receptors and appears to mimic the effect of oxytocin in the body. So oxytocin is a hormone that causes labor contractions during childbirth. And additionally, dates contains tannins, which are compounds that have been shown to help facilitate contraction. They're also a good source of natural sugar and calories, which is necessary to maintain energy levels during labor. Yeah, I had 3 children. It's useful that you have your energy, no kidding. So it's an excellent natural sweetener. And you see, that's what I did at my cafe. And you'll see later, I'll show you my website. All my desserts are sweetened with dates. All of them, all of them. I do have a bit of maple syrup in the macadamia cream. I like little when I use it. Otherwise, all dates. And it's very simple. Use a scale, or use cups if you like, but it's easier to repeat once you found your texture that you like, it's easier to repeat it when you use a scale because you use grams. So you don't have to go, oh, do I pack the dates? Do I cut them? You just put dates in the blender and you add your water. So same dates of a certain weight of dates and purified water, and you blend. Make sure that you cover your blade of your blender. So because otherwise the dates will just spin underneath the blade, right? So you just have to make a quantity that is enough to cover the blades of your blender. And then you make, I call it a date syrup, they call it a date base. So, and you use that to sweeten. And you do a 1-to-1. So if you were to add 1 tablespoon in your recipe of granulated sugar, refined sugar, you add 1 tablespoon of the date syrup. And you can adjust after if you find it's not sweet enough, and you can use that to sweeten anything. Because you see, dates, they have a mild flavor, which is very lovely actually. So it doesn't fight with what you put. I find that honey is a little tricky. It's quite strong as a flavor, so it could be tricky and kind of fight with the other, like especially when I do lucuma parfait. Lucuma is a very also delicate flavor. So if I was to use something too strong, it will overpower the lucuma. I want the taste of the lucuma to come out. And they say the other potential health benefit, oh my gosh, 1126. Hola. The bone health, I'm not going to give a detail. I'll just say bone health, blood sugar control, as we said. It's easy to add to your diet, right? And, oh no, okay, that's good. I have time. What am I talking about? I have time. So let's go back. Bone health. Dates contain several minerals, including phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium. All of these have been studied for their potential to prevent bone-related conditions like osteoporosis. So, you have a sweet tooth, just grab one day, chew it, take the time to really chew it and savor it. And then you're good. You're not going for that chocolate bar that is made with refined sugar or, other things they add in it. Blood sugar control. Dates have the potential to help with blood sugar regulation due to their low glycemic index, fiber and antioxidant. Thus, eating them may benefit diabetes management, like we talked earlier. It's easy to add to your diet. They're sticky. So if you need to do something that needs to stick together, when you do like those, what are they called? Those balls, those energy balls. So it's great for that. They're easy to combine, as I say, because they don't have a strong taste that come and fight with what you're working with. Now, make sure about snacks. It's something they really encourage us to eat snacks, and it's best not to. So eat as a dessert, but yeah, don't overdo it. And you can use dates to sweeten sauces, dressing, like I do. I mean, my dressing, I do the same thing. So I'll show you now. I have the time. There we go. I'm just going to move that to the side. I will just show you my website. Oh, here we are. Beautiful. My website here. And you'll see, this is my website. You come at the top, then it talks about what I teach during my classes. And then you have an ebook here that is free with recipes. And here you have that beautiful, film strip of all the dishes. Here you have that gorgeous cake I was talking about in last week, and the ingredients I talked about today that go in it. And so and I have, of course, I have a section for desserts. I teach desserts, and all desserts are sweetened with dates, all of them. And at my cafe, I had customers who had they were diabetic, loved to come to my cafe. It was like, yes, I can eat everything on the menu. They were so happy. So use dates. Yeah, it doesn't spike. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it dates because of I can't remember where it is. But anyway, my customer diabetic customer were able to eat my desserts. They were thrilled to bits. So just remember, I mean, you must have heard that already. A healthy woman, a healthy man has 1,000 dreams. Without their health, only has one. When we're not healthy, all we want is let me be healthy so I can do what I would like. So you're older, you're retired, and then you can go and on trips and on hikes and on gatherings and on exercising and you can do all sorts of things. You prepare that now, and you look, even if you're older. I started doing this when I was 45 years old. So, I go 19 years, I'm without any pain, pain. I don't wake up in the morning, not at all. No inflammation whatsoever. So one might say, but again, it's too difficult. It's too many changes. My children, my partner won't like it. It's not convenient. How convenient is it? If anyone in your family might be sick, might have issues with their skin, might be tired, same thing, right? Like when you don't eat live food, the red blood cells, they club together. They're not bouncing around. You don't have the negative charge. You don't have the life that we have in the food. We've been given one body. That body is capable of maintaining perfect health when given clean, organic whole foods. That body of ours is even capable of reversing illnesses like it did for me. And start today to invest in your wealth of health saving accounts. Save yourself and your loved ones of aches and pain and illnesses. Live to thrive. Leave a health legacy. Lots of love to you all, and we will see you again next week. All the very best, and enjoy that cake. It's healthy. You can have it. We'll see you soon.